Hey guys, Survival here, and welcome to Homestead Cooking episode 6. Today we're going to prepare some chips in the oven, some meatballs in the microwave, and I'll throw together some other ingredients just to round it off as a nice and tasty meal. So let's get to it. Given that today we're simply doing some meatballs, some chips, and some other compatible ingredients, instead of actually having an ingredients list, I'm just going to show you the primary ingredients. So we've got our chips ready to go on a tray. All I need to do is turn the oven on and chuck it in. I have some meatballs. These are frozen. I've simply put them into a microwave friendly steaming container. I just need to chuck the lid on and chuck it in the microwave. In case you were wondering, the lid for this steaming container has a steam hole which allows steam to escape. This is absolutely essential when steaming in a microwave. There are some other ingredients which I may choose to put in. However, they won't take long to cook, so I'll simply prepare them once all of this is ready. So to start, we're going to put the chips in the oven at 200 Celsius and we're going to give them about 15 to 20 minutes using a scraper to flip them halfway through. When they're about 15 minutes through their cooking, we're going to add the meatballs in their container into the microwave and we're going to put them on a low setting for about 4 to 5 minutes. So I've just turned the oven on and I've put the tray of chips in. With this oven, I'm using a fan bake setting, so it's getting fan forced heat, and I've set it to 200 Celsius. So the chips are about halfway through their cooking. I just quickly took the tray out and used a spatula to carefully flip them. This ensures that they're not stuck to the tray and it ensures that they get evenly cooked. Remember, these chips were frozen, so even heating and cooking on both sides will ensure that they are fully cooked and that all sides of the chips get good colour. If they do start to stick towards the end of their cooking, this doesn't matter. So today I've decided I'm going to have my chips, some meatballs, and I decided I'd also have a cup of red borscht. Red borscht, in case you're wondering, is a beetroot soup. It's a lot tastier than it sounds. So I've got some red borscht instant powder in a cup, ready to go. I'll simply, when I'm about 1 minute away from having the meatballs cooked, I'll simply turn the electric jug on, boil some water. If you don't have an electric jug, you can use a kettle on a stove. If for whatever reason you don't have that, you can use a pot or a pan next to a campfire even. So it doesn't matter where you are, whether you're at the homestead, whether you're in the bush, doesn't matter what heat source you have or what method you have of boiling water, you can boil water. I personally find the red borscht to be a tasty, warming and filling soup, and I figure it's going to go well and round the meal off just beautifully. So it's time to cook the meatballs, as it's about 5 minutes till the chips are ready. So I've put the lid on the container, I've put it in the microwave, and now I'm just going to bring this down to halfway between a low and a medium setting. Unfortunately, due to the brightness of the backlight in the screen, you won't be able to see it, but it is also the same power level as defrost, halfway between low and medium. I'm going to set it. This power level is approximately 30% of the power output of the microwave. This is a 1200 watt microwave, in case you were wondering. I'm going to set the time to approximately 2.5 minutes, at which point I will check to see whether or not they have been heated through gently. Then I'll turn it up higher and run them for a shorter period of time to give them a good quick cook. As you can see here, I have the red borscht instant powder in the bottom of a mug. I've put about 2 teaspoons worth. These weren't level, these were slightly heaped teaspoons. All I have to do is add 200 ml of hot, not boiling, but hot water to it, and then stir through thoroughly for about 30 seconds, and I'll have beautiful red borscht soup ready to go. So I've just put the meatballs on again, this time at 60% power for 2 minutes to give them a quick solid heat so that they'll be properly cooked. In about a minute's time, I'm going to put the jug on to get some hot water. And the chips, I'm going to pull them out of the oven. Here are the meatballs. They're extremely hot. Even though there's a steam port in the lid of this steaming container, I still had to carefully open the lid away from me so as to ensure I didn't get burnt by the steam. I'm just letting them cool a tiny bit, just with the ambient temperature. I have turned the oven off, and I put a bowl into the oven to use the residual heat in order to warm the bowl so that it doesn't make the food completely cold. I've just boiled some water, and now I'm going to prepare my red borscht soup. I've let the boiling water cool a little bit, so it's now hot but not boiling. As this is a large cup, I've filled it to about 2/3. Simply give it a good stir. It's got good consistency. If you do make it a little thin, simply add a little bit more of the instant borscht powder. So there you have it. A very quick, easy and tasty meal you can very quickly prepare using your oven, a microwave and some hot water. This is one of those meals that's really good when you're pressed for time. It's really easy to prepare. It's extremely tasty and filling. And this is also a really great meal for a very cold, miserable day. It's hearty, it's warming, and it's homey. My best advice, don't be afraid to experiment using your microwave. Try things. If it doesn't work, make a note, try something else. You will get it to work, and you will become a master at using your microwave. Just remember, be confident, believe in yourself, and experiment. The worst that can happen is something doesn't get cooked right. It's not the end of the world. You can try again. I actively encourage everyone to try getting better at using their microwave. Once you've mastered cooking with your microwave, you will be amazed at just how many things can be cooked in a fraction of the time, tasting just as wonderful because you used a microwave. So I hope you've enjoyed Homestead Cooking. This episode marks the completion of this mini-series. If you have any other ideas, you want us to do some more episodes of Homestead Cooking, feel free to leave a comment below and we'll see what we can do about it. And remember, stay safe in the bush.